Hey everyone, today I want to talk about something that confuses a lot of people, and that is whether something is a business rule or a technical constraint. What is the difference? So a business rule is something that is intrinsic to the business. Business rules change when business policies change. So this really has to do with the business. And these changes in business rules may affect business processes, software, or both, depending on where and how they're implemented. So, for example, these are some example business rules. For new customers, we must perform a credit check on purchases over $500. That's probably a business rule for a particular company. Another example, one condition for a house loan to be approved is that the monthly payment of the house loan must amount to no more than 30% of a family's monthly gross income. Now that example might be a particular bank, but it's probably regulatory. It's probably a regulatory requirement in the loan industry. We only write health insurance policies for companies of 10 or more people. We do not provide individual health insurance policies. Now that's clearly a decision made by a particular company. It's a decision somebody made. It could change at another point in time, but this company at this point in time has made this decision, and that is a business rule for that company. All project assets that describe the working system must be stored for a period of 3 years. Another rule for a particular company. A different company could have a different rule. And here's one. All mathematical results must be calculated to at least 10 digits of accuracy. Now that one you might think, oh, that's technical. But hey, if you're a scientist, maybe you're a biologist, a chemist, and you need your results calculated to 10 digits of accuracy in order to be comfortable that you have the right answers. And so it's a scientific rule, but it is in fact a business rule. It's not a technical constraint, and we'll see in a minute what the difference is. So what is a technical constraint? A technical constraint exists because of the technology you've chosen, not because of a business decision. A technology constraint often changes when we change technology. So ideally, these kinds of changes should only change the software and not impact the business processes. But it may also be true that if we remove a technical constraint, it may lead us to more business opportunities. So in the past, for example, working on the internet was awkward, inconvenient, it was text-based. Well, then we got web browsers. And by adding web browsers and the ability to put graphical interfaces on this information on the internet, we've actually now opened up more business opportunities, opportunities for people to interact with our companies through the internet that didn't exist before. So by removing a technical constraint about how we used the internet, by adding things like web browsers and adding the ability to do graphical solutions and other things that we've added in with the World Wide Web, we've created business opportunities for ourselves. So what are some technical constraints? A name field may have no more than 50 characters. There is no business reason that I have to have a name only 50 characters. That would relate to something like a screen, the amount of space on the screen, or it might relate to a database field, but neither one of those things is business. That's technical. All data must be converted to ASCII format to be stored. Why would the business care? The business doesn't care. That's completely a technical requirement. All loan documentation must be printed out and put into the company's local secure storage before being physically archived in long-term storage. Now that might look like a business requirement, but think about it. What's the actual business requirement? We have to archive the information. That's the business requirement. We have chosen to do it by printing it out and physically storing it. That is not the only way we could do it. Maybe that choice was made because of a uncomfortableness, a lack of trust in the technology. We have a lack of trust in the digital media that we store it on. We know we can read paper, so we store it as paper. That lack of trust is not business, that's technology. So this is not a business rule or business requirement, it is a technical constraint. Final example, a video file to be uploaded can be no larger than 5 megabytes. There's no real business reason we have to do that. It's related to how much storage space we have. How much space do we have? How much space do we want to allow people to use? How much time does it take to upload it? Those would be the kinds of reasons for that sort of constraint. Not really related to the business per se, but more closely related to the technology. Now you might say, oh, well, we're limiting people to 5 megabytes because of the cost. Well, the cost of technology changes all the time. So that is a technical constraint. The size of the storage, the cost of the storage would be a technical limitation. When that changes, we might revisit this. The business requirement to store video files is still there, but we might change our 5 megabyte limitation because of changes in technology and the cost of technology. Remember to document both your business rules and your technical requirements. Your business rules could be documented in a separate business rules document or might be documented with other requirements such as user interface wireframes, report specifications, or use cases. Your technical constraints might be documented in a supplementary specification or maybe a software requirements specification, or they might be documented in other places such as a software architecture document, a component specification, or the user interface design. Who documents these requirements? Your business rules should be elicited and documented by the business analyst or maybe the project manager. Your technical constraints should be documented by a member of the technical team who is usually the project architect or a designer. And you may also find these rules in enterprise architecture documents. So not just your project architecture document, but your enterprise architecture document. So in summary, a business rule describes requirements of the business. A technical constraint describes limitations due to the technology chosen for the solution. You need both kinds of information for your project team to be successful. Your business rule should be elicited and documented by the business analyst. Your technical constraints should be documented by the project architect or designer. I hope you find this tip useful. If you did, please feel free to look for more information on my website, which you will see on the next slide. Thank you.